Hi everyone, my name is Taiwo Oyemade and I have here with me Mrs.
Titoleyi Ajayi. Titoleyi Ajayi.
No, I know you still make the mistake of thinking you are Olunoike. No, you're not.
I wanted to say Olunoike. I'm like Ajayi.
Okay, so what's going on with you? What's your name?
My name is Gabriel Aborisade.
Okay, so I've been married about 6 years now. Brother Titoleyi has been married just a few months, and Gabriel is as single as he gets for now. But I hope that it's going to change very soon. Amen. Okay, so guys, let's get into it. So Pastor JK dropped a thought on us a few weeks ago that has not left me. Ephesians chapter 5 from verse 31. As the scriptures say, a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one. 32. This is a great mystery, but it is an illustration of the way Christ and the church are one. This is a great mystery, but it is an illustration of the way Christ and the church are one. And I remember his words ringing in my head. If you can hack the way Christ and his church are one, you can hack marriage by backward integration, because Bible study talks here that marriage is supposed to be an illustration of how Christ and his church are one, meaning that Christian marriages are supposed to be a picture of what the church is supposed to be. The union between Christ and the church is supposed to be explained easily through Christian unions. And so he was now saying that if you can understand this revelation of how Christ and the church are one, then marriage is supposed to be seamless, because marriage is supposed to be spiritual. Yeah. And this thought has continued to linger in my head for days. Like, I got to deepen my knowledge of the relationship between the church and between the bride called church and the groom called Jesus Christ, the head of the church, the body, church being the body of Christ. You know, very, very interesting. I mean, Bible says this is a great mystery. So here we are now. Brother Titoleyi, you've been married a few months.
Yes.
So I'm going to say ladies first. You've been married a few months now.
Yes.
What do you think? How does this revelation play out for you, seeing that you're married a few months and this is dropping in your lap in this season? How do you think that's going to affect you?
All right, so I think that we must first of all view the words of Christ or the words of God as not a suggestion, but as an instruction. So when the Bible says that a man must leave his wife, it suggests that you shouldn't be living with a woman.
A man must leave his father and mother.
Leaving his home.
And
then cleaving to his wife. And so the opposite to applies to the woman. You shouldn't be living with a man, aside from your dad, of course, when you want to get married or at the point of getting married. So you must be single first before you can even talk about the illustration that comes between Christ and the church. And so when we say Christ and the church, we know that Christ sacrifices and Christ loves. So from the part of the man, you must be ready to sacrifice. Also from the part of the woman, you must be ready to sacrifice. So when you are getting into marriage, you must harm yourself with that mentality that I am going to sacrifice. Now, many people just think that, I sacrifice only when it is convenient or something that, it doesn't exactly take anything out of me. That's sacrifice. No, sacrifice is going the extra mile. What you would not. The death of Christ on the cross was a huge sacrifice. A very, very huge one. He died for people that didn't love him, didn't even see him as their Messiah, and yet he died for them. And then for the love aspect from the man, you must love your wife. I know we've had an inside podcast where the JK and Pastor Taiwo were talking about and saying that you must cherish your wife. In fact, JK on Sunday also mentioned, Pastor JK also mentioned on Sunday, Pastor JK also mentioned on Sunday how you must see your wife as a jewel. You must treasure her. You must love her. So when we say Christ loves the church, he sees them as an important or priceless thing to have.
I've been hearing a lot of what the man should do. In what you've been saying so far.
Yes, I said it applies for the woman too.
Okay.
It's not just for the man. I know that a lot of pressure is on the man. You must do this, you must do that. How about for the women too?
Okay.
You must love your husband. Should not crave. He should not be begging for love. what I mean, you are the man. Why are you behaving like a puppy? Why are you doing like, no, that's not the
balance.
that's not what
like
the word.
what does that even mean? How are you like a puppy?
Why you behaving so love starved?
Yeah,
that's not a right word from a Christian woman. You must love your wife, your husband rather, and you must submit to him as unto the Lord. You know, when the first few days I got into my husband's house, the first thing the Lord dropped in my heart was, this marriage is not for you, it is for me. I have never heard it.
Wait, say it again.
This marriage is not for you, it is for me. That was the way it dropped in my heart. And I shared with my husband, I told him, this is what the Lord told me, that this marriage is not for us. So, although we are in the equation, although we are in the old thing,
enjoying the experience,
it is for him. So whatever we do in this is for the glory of God. And so we must portray Christ in this relationship, in this marriage. So it is not about us. Many times you just see that Christian marriages say, oh, it's about me. What am I going to get from this? Am I not going to do that? But wait, ask yourself, what does the Lord want from this?
Hold on. Okay, so, Oga, Gabriel, you're single right now.
Yes,
I hope that very soon I'll not say that you're single, but you're single right now. So, I mean, this revelation, she's been sharing from her own perspective, newly wedded, getting into the experience of marriage, like what talk about, and this is how she's perceiving it. You are single. This revelation, it's a great mystery, and it's an illustration of the union of Christ and His church. How does that come across to you, the topic of marriage?
Okay, I had to breathe in.
Okay.
Because as God will have it, during like a personal study I had like about 3 weeks ago, or even 4 weeks ago, it was when it started, series on marriages. I was actually, you want to do
marriage ministry. You never married now, bros.
No, so it's just so, and then as God will have it, we also got into Made in Heaven month in Onebody, and this Ephesians 5 has been everywhere in my life in the last six weeks.
Okay. I'm
not married, but it is, first of all, let me call it appreciation.
Okay, appreciation. What does that
mean? As a man, an unmarried man, even be an unmarried woman, if I'm talking from a singles perspective.
Okay.
So that I would cherish my marriage, I need to first of all cherish the sacrifice that Christ made.
Absolutely.
That's the first thing that jumps at you.
That is the first thing. I read that passage and I'm like, man, because if you read passages up from 21, 22, Christ, for people who did not, so we were talking about consciousness a while ago. Coming to the consciousness of the kingdom of God. Even coming to the consciousness of Christ had done a work that people that were not even conscious of him will come and benefit from.
Okay.
This is Christ thinking ahead, loving ahead, sacrificing ahead of people that do not even know they need it. For me, I first of all have to come into that consciousness that, man, someone has loved me even before I knew I needed loving.
Okay.
Means that before I even have a woman to call a wife, there's a predisposition I need to have.
Predisposition.
I need to be ready to love. So it's not like when I go into marriage and I start learning, this is that. No, the best way I feel it will be beneficial for me. And if that is what Christ is teaching me and why I'm not married yet, it is a very good lesson. It is very good. There needs to be a predisposition that I have towards the institution called marriage. Just like you rightly said. If I understand that there has been a work done so that I can emulate that work, it is then not really about me. In fact, anything I am doing for the woman who will become my wife, I don't need to have the wife first. It is already being, it's like an installation. It's already being installed in me. Because when the time is needed, there will be a
release.
There will be a release.
You can tap into a base.
Yes, I can tap into a base of example that has been laid down. So for me, I look at the book of Ephesians 5 talking about marriage, and when he keeps talking about how Christ has loved, so also we need to love. How Christ has washed, so also we need to wash our bride so that we can present. Man, I know that. Okay. So I mean, I don't know. I don't want to do a lot of talking, so I'm going to allow you guys just talk. Just one more thought before
wrap this up, and I'm going to ask you, Brother Titoleyi, in that conversation about the picture of Christ and the church being the image of husbands and wives in the church, of course, we're not talking about the general world right now. We're talking about Christian marriages, essentially. One of the things that sticks out the most every time we think about it is sacrifice. Now, I'm going to ask you, because when we see sacrifice, we see Christ sacrificing for the church. What does the church sacrifice for Christ? I know this question is coming at you because if you say sacrifice work both ways, what is the church sacrificing? And the church representing the woman in the equation, and Christ. Just, you don't have to overthink it. I just want to hear your thoughts. How do you think? Because you're a woman, you're a woman that is married, and in the relationship, it is Christ sacrificing for the church by giving his life. Do you understand? To make her holy, to sanctify her, to separate her unto himself, and to preserve her for a future that he has in mind. Now, for the church, what does the church do really in response to this sacrifice? Because your husband is a pastor, and he loves you so much, and I believe he's trying to really sacrifice a lot for you. Yeah. So what does sacrifice then mean for you in that equation, personally?
Okay, I think for me, sacrifice will mean appreciating his own sacrifice and responding the right way. What do I mean? So if I know that, my husband is going to do X, Y, Z, it is on my own part to understand that he is doing this for me, and I must be appreciative about it. I shouldn't view it from the point that, but God said that that's what you are supposed to do. So you are supposed to do that, and everybody will leave when and all. No, I'm supposed to appreciate
you saw me in
that.
House and you can't come and meet me. Now you want to be stressing me.
Yeah. No. Your mindset must be that you would appreciate what he's doing, so that he does not get frustrated in carrying out the assignment that God has given him to sacrifice for you and to love you. So for many women, I know they go with, but I'm submitting to you, you're supposed to love me. You're not supposed to throw it at his face that this is what I am doing.
Like Jesus does not throw it at Jesus' face.
Yes, you're not supposed to throw it at his face to say, this is what I'm doing. You continue doing your own bit and appreciate the little that is coming from the man, if at all he is doing something.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Married woman's perspective. Even though young married, but she's married. Married is married. You are a guy. You're not married. But so in that, she was just speaking just now about how she's gonna accept the sacrifice and respond to it. Now you, as a man in this equation now, Bible is talking about Christ as the husband. So you're gonna be a husband. How do you perceive this matter of sacrifice? Side by side with what Jesus has done and is still doing for his church.
Okay, so first of all, I would if I would look at Christ's sacrifice, I would want to acknowledge the power of love. And power of love in the sense that Christ is willing to sacrifice, is willing to teach, is willing to wash us, is willing to do a lot of things. Christ doesn't whip us. Christ doesn't. When I say doesn't whip, I don't know if it gets any perspective.
Yeah,
it doesn't berate us.
It doesn't berate us when we're not responding.
When we're not responding, how we are supposed to respond, because it is. And then, so for me, it's sacrifice is also patience, because I'm sacrificing my short fuse. I'm sacrificing my tendency to be a man.
Sacrifice is also patience.
Yes,
interesting.
I'm sacrificing my tendency to react how I could react.
But you're looking at Jesus.
I'm looking at Jesus,
and you're saying how you two always pull a long rope with him, and he doesn't react.
Exactly.
And you're looking at, maybe I should also be very reactive,
because I'm not married yet, but I have parents, thankfully. And I can see, I know sometimes how, man, it can be, I'm not married. My mother can do something sometimes, and then my dad is just there. I'm like,
I wouldn't take this.
If not me.
But Christ. But I just think about it. And also, if I consider myself as a bride, for example, as a church, and I look at Christ, and the reason why I can, sometimes I think about it, like, I don't care whatever you say. I am in love with Christ like mad. It's because I come to realize that this man was so patient with me.
So you gotta be patient.
The power of love. So I have to also give love. I believe with the sacrifice I'm showing, the opportunity to bring my wife to such a position that it is not my complaints that will bring that to begin to. It is the love that she sees. I'm like, I'm with this man forever. I'm trusting that will happen.
Wow. Okay. I mean, our time is up already, but I mean, I've been married about 6 years now, and for me, these things you guys are saying, even though I'm very, very young, in marriage. I mean, compared to some people who have been married for 30-something, 40-something years, there's always something to learn. Marriage is a journey of yielding. People are yielding, they are yielding, and you continue to yield. Even there are things in me that I did not realize were in me until after like 5 years. And I'm like, did you just do that? But when I keep seeing that Christ also leaves that room for me, every time I do something stupid, he doesn't, I mean, like Psalm 103 talks about how God deals with us. He doesn't always treat us as one of our sins. His loving kindness is unfailing. So as I look to God to show mercy, like this parable of the unmerciful servant who walked away from the king's presence, feeling like, thank you for having mercy on me. And saw another guy down the road who owes him a very, very small fraction of the money. And he's like, I'm going to take it out on you. I also see myself like Christ is giving me a very long rope. Even as a minister. Do you know how many things God has told me to do that I lingered on for so long? Yet I want to say something to my wife and I want her to just jump on it. And I want to begin to react if she's not responding. Thank you, Mrs. Ajayi, Mrs. Bolua Titoleyi Ajayi, and Gabriel Aborisade, taking time out to hang out with me. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. God bless you. Bye bye.
Amen.
God bless you.
God bless you.